In today's jobs report, with 25,000 jobs being added to that sector last month. So the question is, can manufacturing growth hold up against the debt ceiling drama? Well, let's bring in Drew Greenblatt, president of Marlin Steel, and Matt Tyler, president and CEO of Vickers Engineering. Great to have you both on the show once again. Drew, you're predicting a 20% increase for your business this year. So are you saying Washington be damned?
Exactly. We're forging forward. We're plowing ahead. We're going to be growing this year. We think it's going to be with some headwinds, though. And this is not because Washington's cooperating. Washington actually gives us a 20% cost differential against our competitors like Canada and Japan and Mexico and Europe. So right now, we have these burdens, torts, taxes, regulations that slow us down. Despite all of that, Marlin Steel is going to do well, but it's an unnecessary headwind for our economy. If we can unleash this and level this cost differential, we'd grow even faster.
Matt, what about you? I mean, you had a record year last year. In spite of what Washington is doing or not doing, is this year going to be even better?
2013 is definitely going to be a record year again. We actually think we're going to double by the time 2015. We already have that growth on the books. Drew's exactly right. The question is how further could we go? And the government isn't helping the way they're handling small business entrepreneurs and the tax code. Last time I was on, we discussed the fact that it made all the sense in the world for the government to recognize the big boys' tax rates aren't fair globally. They're talking about reducing those. Yet what they just did was increased the small business tax. And it gives us one more thing to worry about and contend with when cash is the #1 thing we need to grow.
But nonetheless, has it created more certainty or less certainty for you, Matt?
It's definitely less certainty, because one issue that people need to recognize is there are actually capacity issues with manufacturing right now. There's a number of jobs that could be had. There's a number of good companies that survived the recession that are at capacity. They're maxed out. There are a number of OEMs, like automotive companies, that want to continue to get back to where they were. They need this capacity in the United States. They're going to be forced to potentially go offshore to find that capacity. They don't want to go offshore. They're going to have to go offshore. We need the government to encourage entrepreneurs to actually take risks, invest, and go out and grow. And they're not helping that problem.
Well, what would you like them to do, Drew?
Well, like we discussed, we need tort reform. Right now, we spend a lot of money paying lawyers and insurance for all kinds of frivolous claims. In addition, our regulations are very burdensome. I have a friend down in Kentucky that has 48 employees. He's not going over that number because he doesn't want to get hit with the Obama health care taxes. And regarding taxation, we're at the highest tax rate in the world with all of our economic rivals. So what happens is when I compete with a Canadian company, they have a 15% tax rate. We're in the 40% world, and that 40% doesn't include health insurance. I have to pay additional for health insurance. We have a major obstacle being an American factory, and these are challenges that easily could be smoothed out, and then we would hire more people, we'd grow more, and we'd end the recession.
Drew, look, I totally understand.
Mandy,
Go ahead,
it's incredibly patronizing. It's incredibly patronizing for politicians to come into your building, come into your meetings, and ask the question, what can we do to help you grow? Then we have to ask them, just please get out of the way. Eliminate the barriers, and then they actually go and raise our taxes. They either don't understand the problem or they don't care about small businesses. And small businesses are 44% of the jobs in this country are the private sector. 67% of the growth over the past few years has come from the private sector, yet they're making it tougher for us to compete globally.
Right.
And we're in a position right now, manufacturing-wise, where this country can make a run. They can gain some headway globally, and they don't recognize it.
So you say the government is talking about job creation but punishing the job creator. But back to my previous question, and Drew, I'm going to pose this to you. At least don't we have a modicum of certainty? Okay, so healthcare costs are going up. Okay, taxes have gone up. But at the same time, at least you know what those rates are and you can plan around it. Isn't the certainty a good thing?
No, I don't think there is certainty, actually, because in 58 days or whatever it is, they're going to have another crisis. And what's going to happen is President Obama's already said he plans on raising, or his intention is to raise another $600 billion or more dollars in taxes. And he wants to do it on the job creators. And I don't think that's a savvy way to grow the economy. What we need is job creators, entrepreneurs to have a lot of enthusiasm about the future. We need less regulations. We need an easier platform for us to have confidence. We want to have a very robust economy. Right now we have $2.5 trillion sitting overseas and on our big companies' balance sheets. They're not being deployed. Everybody's hesitating. Everybody's pausing because they don't know what Washington's going to do next. We need some relief from what's happening in Washington. We need some certainty. It's not happening right now. They just kicked the can down the road for 60 days. That's unacceptable. This is when we buy a piece of equipment, we're buying it for 10 years, 20 years. When we hire somebody, we're thinking 20-year horizons. When you kick the can down the road 60 days and tell us you're going to raise taxes again, that's not comforting for a job creator.
It was Washington's favorite sport, kicking the can. Thank you so much for joining us, Drew and Matt.